dignity. She's a woman, yes, a woman, of all seasons.
Perhaps one of the most undesirable seasons that each one of us has been through or is inevitably going to go through in our journey to destiny is a season of threshing, the season of purging and pruning. Because in our journey to destiny, God does a work of molding and sculpturing us and preparing us and making us into the vessel that we need to be for purposes of fulfilling destiny, because He's put seeds of greatness in us and a purpose for us to fulfill. And sometimes we have things in us, characteristics, traits, qualities, certain things in us, perceptions, paradigms, attitudes that are not helpful for us in the journey to destiny. In other words, we're carrying too much baggage. And that baggage makes our journey to destiny slow and encumbered. And to that extent, we need to go through seasons of purging. And not just one season, because seasons come in cycles. And you may be purged and pruned and threshed in one season, and what needs to be taken out is taken out, all the dross, the way you remove dross from silver to make it nice and shiny. But still, when we come to another level in our destiny walk, there are challenges that we need to, greater challenges and higher challenges. So it means that we need to go through another threshing to take out other things. So how do you discern whether you're in a season of threshing and pruning and purging and drossing? It is because you're suddenly undergoing a lot of painful experiences. You are paying for the consequences of your attitudes, in your relationships. Maybe you're losing relationships because of the way you've behaved towards them, wrong attitudes, not operating in high emotional intelligence. You're going through a season of pain because your character is being shaped. You're maybe going through humiliation, maybe embarrassment, maybe it's like being called out. Suddenly, the things that you've gotten away with, you can no longer get away with. And they're in the open, and your character and your person is being judged and vetted and scrutinized and critiqued. And in the process, it can be very painful. Maybe your way of handling money has not been very good, and maybe you're the type of person who borrows without lending, who makes promises and doesn't keep them, and that is being dealt with, that aspect of your character. So what happens is you go through exposure, embarrassing exposure, where you're confronted or there's intervention, and you need to come to a place where the experience is so painful that you are ready to be set free and delivered from that characteristic and that negative trait in you concerning finances or even overspending. You may be one who spends carelessly without budget, shopaholic, and at the end of the day, you incur debts and credit card bills. And a time comes when that is exposed and you have to pay back, and there's legal consequences, and you're put in very embarrassing situations and very hurtful situations. And it makes you agree for that careless attitude towards spending to be dealt with and to be taken out of you. And maybe it's just the way you handle people. You mistreat people, you're abusive, you're emotionally abusive towards your relationships. And a time comes when you're left alone. People just leave you alone. You lose friendships. You find you're no longer, nobody wants to deal with you. And you have to come to a place where you allow that area in you, that lack of empathy, that lack of gentleness, that lack of love is dealt with. And it's a purging and a pruning and a threshing on the threshing floor. And then you need to ask yourself, the purpose, of course, is to take away what is in you that doesn't need to be there, that is hindering your journey to destiny. And of course, the people you meet are the thresher, those who are threshing you, those who are confronting you, those who are exposing you. You'll meet with them. And they're not your enemies, because they're doing something, or they're being used by God to do something for you or towards you that is necessary. And then you'll meet others being threshed at the same time. And the danger here is to avoid hooking up with people who are trying to make you resist the threshing or the pruning. And then you will also encounter certain dangers and snares. What is a danger and snare in a season of threshing? It is resisting to be threshed. When you're refusing to be corrected, when you're resisting correction from authorities, from those who God has given permission to correct you and to confront you and to deal with you. When you resist that and you act all stubborn and all prideful, that's a snare. It's a danger, because no pruning will be done. You go back to square one, and whether you like it or not, you go round in circles until you allow yourself to be purged and threshed. And then, of course, the lessons we learn is that we are not perfect. We carry so much past pain, woundedness, the frustrations of past failures. And all these things need to be purged and pruned and threshed out of us, that we may be healthy. We may come into a place of wellness as we walk into our destiny and as we walk this journey. And it will be a lighter and faster and easier journey when we're not burdened with so much. Even grief can be something that needs to be threshed out of you. When it's been extended beyond its natural period and you're walking with a spirit of grief over tragedies and traumas that happened years ago, and you're in an unhealthy place. So all that and all that sickness, all that emotional unwellness, mental unwellness, whatever, because of what you've been, there needs to be sorted out that you may move on. And you learn the lesson that you need to be made well. The lessons you learn from threshing is that you need what is good in you, what is productive, what is useful, what is profitable needs to come out. The wheat needs to be threshed out of the chaff so the chaff can be thrown out. Just like we see in the Bible, Ruth had to go to the threshing floor for threshing. And it is after she allowed all the threshing on the threshing floor, obeying the instructions of her midwife, Naomi, that she was able to lay hold of her miracle. We will not lay hold of our miracles and blessings and enter destiny effectively if we do not allow a threshing and a pruning and a purging. And transition, of course, you will smell it. You will know you have surrendered, you have succumbed yourself to the threshing and the pruning, and you come to a place you even feel lighter. You feel a better person in your relationships, better with your money issues, better with your career, with your job, with your business, in your relationship with God. You've come to a place where you are definitely not carrying all that pain and negativity and wrong mindsets, and you feel healthier, and you know you are transitioning to another season where you can be entrusted now. You can be entrusted with people, with things, with resources, with blessings, because you're a healthier person. Are you in a season of threshing? Don't refuse the pain. Don't resist it. Allow it, because it's good for you and it is necessary.